What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day, and to say that we are set up for this weekend would honestly be an understatement. We are extremely set up for this weekend. We have a lot of potential to hit some of these four-mans over the weekend. So just quickly, guys, we have this set up for the Broncos game. We have this set up for the Raiders game. We have a setup for the Jaguars and Panthers game, and then we have a setup down here for the Baylor and SMU game, which actually is one of my favorite games of the weekend. I think this should be a very high-flying, high-scoring game, which, for a reason why I took the overs, right? I took the overs for a reason. So we have a lot of potential energy. We just cashed this 8.5x about 10 to 15 minutes ago. So our team over here on red, this red team, we took their overs together, and they had a lot of high scoring games. They ended up winning only one game. They kind of threw that third game, but we did take the overs together. And if you don't know how League of Legends works, or you pretty much don't know what we do here on this channel, it is called correlation. Okay, so we do things that make sense together. So for example, a correlated duo would be in League of Legends taking two players together. Another example of that would be some of these, sorry for all the mess here, but it would be taking, for example, two players over here on the right side of the screen, two players under together, because the worse that Carson Beck does, not worse, but the less he throws, the less that his number one receiver is going to get many catches, right? This is another example. We took CeeDee Lamb over receptions last night. We took Devontae Smith under receptions. Cowboys had to throw a lot more in that game because they were behind most of that game. And then you'll also see this one last night was an absolute heartbreaker, but like I said, I'm happy that we did go ahead and cash this one here, right? This one, absolute heartbreaker. Jalen Hurts goes over by one pass completion. I mean, this could have so easily hit for us, guys. Saquon Barkley made like a one-handed catch. There were just so many moments where he shouldn't have got one more pass completion. I believe he goes 19 for 22. He might have went 19 for 23, but he completed over 85% of his throws. That's like unbelievable. It sucks that he completed so much of his passes, really, because if we would have took him under pass yards, that would have hit. If we would have took him under pass attempts, that would have hit. But again, guys, sometimes players play like that, and sometimes it's going to happen. So this was super frustrating last night. I mean, this was one of those times where you just put your face in your palms, and you're just like, man, what is going on? And then right here was another setup that we had overnight. You'll see that I actually took the unders on League of Legends. Unfortunately, these guys go way over, and we don't cash this here. So I mean, waking up this morning was tough because this one did not cash for us last night. This one didn't cash for us last night, but luckily this morning these teams came through and we did go ahead and cash one of these here. So could have easily cashed 2 out of 3 of these, or even all 3 of these. But like I said, over this whole weekend, guys, we're in really, really good shape. And that's not even considering I have like 10 other entries out to the VIP already. I will say, from this video up until tomorrow morning, or maybe tomorrow afternoon, with all the college football and all the NFL going on, I'm probably going to be sending out another 10 entries, guys. There's so much value on the board, and we're here in the season. I mean, it's so nice to be able to go onto PrizePicks and see so much plays to take, so much value. Like I feel like sometimes in the middle of summer, I'm like, man, there's nothing on the board. Like I want to give a pick, I want to send out a pick, but I'm like, dude, I gotta wait a couple more hours because there's absolutely nothing to bet on right now. There's so much to bet on. There's so much value. And again, like I said, we use correlation to our advantage. That is how we are profitable over a long period of time. You guys will see I take a lot of 4-mans, as you guys see in these entries. There's a lot of 4-man entries, and it's because, on the record, we only have like 200 or 250 wins, and we have close to 600 losses. But again, it's because a lot of these entries are 9x entries, 8.5x entries, 10x entries. So when we win really big. When we lose, we're only losing 1 unit, but when we win, we might win 9-8 units, right? And you'll see over the course of the summer, so this is since May 1st, we're up 94 units. We went on a really bad loss streak in August. It was one of our worst months ever. And we're going to be bouncing back off of that, right? So I just looked over the past 30 days. We're down about 30 units over the past 30 days. So again, most of that is August. Guys, we have had not once, not twice, not 3 times, like multiple times. Like I'm talking 5 to 7 times on this channel where we have gone up more than 30 units, not only in a weekend, in a day. Okay, we have had a 30 unit day in like probably 7-8 times on this channel. We've had 30 unit weekends a ton of times. Okay, so one weekend can wipe out a whole month of disaster, like a whole month, all August, where we're like really down in the dumps. And it's like, man, this sucks. One weekend can just absolutely turn this ship around and we can be back up here. I know it sounds crazy talking about this right now, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. And we're going to be back up here, and everyone's going to be like, oh man, I wish I would have took all these plays that he was talking about and how important college football season is to us, because I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. Okay. Like, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. So it'll happen, guys. Like, I don't know whether I just want to talk things into existence or what, but I'm telling you guys, it is going to happen, right? Last year we went up 300 units in college football. We also went up close to 200 units in the NFL. Guys, these weekends, there's only like 20 weekends of football, right? I know that sounds like a lot, but in these 20 weekends, there's a reason why we go up 300 units in college football season. It's because we go up like 10, 15 units on average every single weekend, because that is how profitable college football is, okay? So let's get into the first pick of the day, guys. Let's actually start with this pick. All right, let's start with this pick on Better. I have two picks for you guys today. I have a pick on Better with a huge discount. So Patrick Mahomes discounted line. His line is absolutely cut in half. So this is a no-brainer to take on Better. I'm going to start getting into some of these other apps. All right, Better, Sleeper, Chalkboard, dabble a little bit. There's another app that I'm going to be working with hopefully by tonight or tomorrow. That is a massive thing. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll get into that. But Better today has Mahomes discounted by half, right? So I think you can put $10 on this or $5 on this, whatever it is. Guys, it's a no-brainer to take it. It's pretty much a free square. I mean, Dak going over 1 pass yard and Mahomes going over 125 pass yards is pretty much the same thing. Mahomes is going to get 125 pass yards in this game, right? He could throw the ball 10 times and maybe get this, right? So we're going to take this, and then we're going to take Ricky Pearsall Jr. to go over 3.5 receptions. I think this is a really solid line. You could also take this on PrizePicks if you want. The real reason, guys, is because the 49ers, they have a Christian McCaffrey who is questionable, by the way. So Christian McCaffrey is a big part of this pass game. He might get, 4 or 5 receptions. He's questionable with a calf injury, so we don't know if he's going to play or not. He'll probably be at half speed either way. And then their receiving core is Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall Jr. Okay, so Jawan Jennings is like okay, and then Ricky Pearsall Jr. is, I think, actually a pretty decent second-year player here. And then we have George Kittle, obviously, who's kind of going to be their main passing target. But Ricky Pearsall Jr., 3.5 receptions, I think is going to be a really, really solid entry for us. And I think he should be able to get 4 or 5 receptions pretty easily in this game, all right? So this is going to be the first pick of the day. Before I get to the pick on PrizePicks that I really like, I do want to say this pick is actually happening tonight, okay? So I made a mistake. I said this pick was happening on Sunday, but it is happening in this Chiefs-Chargers game. I forgot that there were games on Friday when I did take this pick on like Tuesday or Wednesday. But this pick is happening tonight. If you guys want to get my Bovada pick for the night, why this is important is this is going to be a completely free pick for you guys. So what I will do is when you text me the word Bovada to my number right here, which is on the screen, 512-270-0440. When you text me the word Bovada, I'm going to give you this play. So all of this will be revealed to you. You'll take the pick that I give you. It's going to be a money line for tonight's game. And then once you do that, I will give you guys, if this play misses, so if the team that I pick ends up losing, then I will Venmo you back the $25 or Cash App you back the $25 that you're going to put on this play. If the play ends up hitting, then you're going to get the play and it'll pretty much double your money right there. So it's completely risk-free. If the play hits, then you'll get the money and you'll obviously get the entry from Bovada, and Bovada is going to pay you back when you cash the entry. If this entry misses, then you'll get a completely free play where I'm going to pay you back if it does miss, okay? So Bovada is legal in all of these red states. If you're currently in this red state, like watching in one of these states right now, Bovada is legal for you, okay? So go ahead, sign up for Bovada. I will also say I just talked about Better quite a lot in this video too, and getting that Patrick Mahomes discount off by half. They are giving you a free $10 bill to sign up for Better today, okay? So sign up for Better. All you have to do is text me the word Better here. Again, it's really simple to sign up for some of these apps, guys. It takes like 5 minutes. You'll get a free $10 bill, and then you'll get up to $200 in bonus cash on your first deposit. I believe they're doing a 50% deposit match. So if you deposit $100 into Better, you'll get a free $50, okay? So do that. You'll also get a free $10 by just signing up. So I think the minimum deposit would be $5. So you'll get free $10, and you can put $5 into Better, and they'll give you 1 free month of the VIP super simply, okay? So a lot of ways to get into my VIP for a month, for 2 months, whatever it is. Just text me, guys. I'm human. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to get you into the VIP and start winning with us, which is what we're going to do over this season. All right. So this is going to be the play of the day. We have Isaiah Pacheco to go under. We have Ladd McConkey to go under his receiving targets. I'm not going to give away who I think is going to win this game, but I do think that this game is going to be a slow game. I think it's going to be a slow game. Honestly, I think it's going to kind of be a boring game. A lot of these Brazil games, these overseas games, I know, it's in South America, but a lot of these games are slower games, all right? There's no home team. There's not that much energy in the stadium. Players honestly don't really want to be there. And even though it's the first game of the season, I think a lot of the energy is going to be sucked out of the building. I think it's going to be a slower paced game. And again, for first games of the season, a lot of people have these big expectations of these high flying offenses like the Chiefs, like the Chargers. But a lot of these teams start slower. They start out pretty slow, and they don't start out scoring 30, 40 points. A lot of the first couple of weeks of the season are defensive favored games. They're defensive favored where the defense has the upper hand on the offense. And then as the season progresses, once we get into maybe week 5 or 6, then the offense starts really ramping up and getting a lot of benefit over the defense. All right, so I want to go over these picks. We have Isaiah Pacheco, which is my favorite entry of the night, under fantasy score. Now, if you look at all of the games that he played last year, okay, you have him going over the first 2 weeks, and then he gets injured. He fractures his fibula, which is, I believe, in the ankle or the lower leg. And then every other game that he comes back from this injury, he goes not just under this line, he goes way under this line. Okay, he goes way under 10 fantasy score. You have some of these games where he's putting up 3, 5 points. Some of these games where he's putting up 2 points, 2 fantasy score points. They have Kareem Hunt in the backfield. I honestly think I've watched the Chiefs enough, guys. They keep signing Kareem Hunt for a reason. They give the ball to Kareem Hunt. They trust Kareem Hunt, all right? In the playoffs, they gave the ball to Kareem Hunt a lot. And what's very important is on the goal line situations, which is where a lot of fantasy score comes from, right? 6 points of fantasy score is going to be for a touchdown. They give the ball to Kareem Hunt, all right? So Isaiah Pacheco, he might get the ball, in the middle of the field when they're running the offense as usual, but in the goal line situations where you're going to look to get a lot of your fantasy score, he does not get the ball. Kareem Hunt does indeed get the ball on those goal line situations, okay? So I just think 10 fantasy score is a lot, especially in a game where he's not likely to score a touchdown. That means he's going to need to get 100 yards on the ground, which again is very unlikely too, because his line is like 40 or something for his rush yards. He could obviously get this in the air with receptions and receiving yards, but I think he's predicted his line right now on PrizePicks is to get like 9.5 receiving yards, okay? So he's just not that big of a receiving back either. He might get 1 or 2 catches, but he could get 1 or 2 catches for 60 yards, which would be a decent game from him, right? That would be a good game. If he gets 60 catches, 60 rushing yards, 1 or 2 catches, that would be a great game from Isaiah Pacheco, and you'd still go under this line. So he really needs a touchdown to go over this line is what I'm trying to get the point across on. And Kareem Hunt is likely going to be the one poaching the touchdowns if that does happen. And on top of that, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. So my other pick is Ladd McConkey to go under targets. You could also take him under receptions, okay? So you'll actually see on this app, it shows that on Underdog Fantasy, his line is 5.5, and then on targets, his line is also 7.5. So his line is 0.5 difference on Underdog Fantasy versus PrizePicks, which is a big deal, right? And right now on PrizePicks, you can get him at 8, under receiving targets at 8. Now, the reason why I like this, guys, is you'll see later in the season, yeah, he got a lot of receiving targets, which is cool. I like Ladd McConkey. I think he's a good player. But now they brought Keenan Allen back into this offense. So now they have Keenan Allen. Now they have Quentin Johnston, love him or hate him, he still gets some receiving targets. And then they also have a player like Will Dissly. They're going to have 2 running backs in the backfield. Amarian Hampton, we'll see how he is able to catch passes. But they have a lot more weapons than they did last year, okay? Last year they had J.K. Dobbins at the running back, which I just think Amarian Hampton's going to be better. Now they have Keenan Allen, like I said. They didn't really have a wide receiver 2 last year. If you look at this game where he gets 14 receiving targets, it was Ladd McConkey at 14. Actually, I think it was 14. Yeah, because I think he had 9 receptions. Yeah, so he had 9 receptions, and the second player in receptions was Will Dissly at 2 receptions. Okay, so you had Ladd McConkey at 9, and then you had Will Dissly at 2. That is how light their receiving core was. Okay, you had Ladd McConkey pretty much the only player getting any targets in that offense, and now you have, like I said, a lot more threats in Quentin Johnston. He's coming into year 3. We'll see how he does, and then you have Keenan Allen, who is just a set veteran who's going to demand targets. He'll probably get 5 targets in this game because he's Keenan Allen, guys. He can run routes really well. So this is why I'm taking this under. under Ladd McConkey, under Isaiah Pacheco on fantasy score. Again, does this mean that I hate Ladd McConkey and I think he's a horrible player? No, it just means that I think he might get 6 or 7 receiving targets instead of 8, right? So this is the play I'm locking in, guys, as the 2-man. I'm also locking this in on better. So leave a like on the video if you guys like these plays. I will say also tonight, so it'll probably be later tonight at like 9-10 p.m. I'm going to do a similar video that I did last weekend of going over all of the picks that I like for the weekend. So that's going to be in college football. That's going to be in the NFL. You guys will probably get between like 12 to 13 picks in that video. Last video on last Friday, we went 8-3. All right. So I sent out 11 picks and we went 8-3 in those picks. So again, the vibe of that video is not to hit every single entry. It's not to go 11-0. It's to just hit at a 66-70% win rate and be very happy with that, right? Give you guys some picks that I like for the weekend, what I'm thinking about, who I think is going to win, who I think is going to lose in these games. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have another video today. And again, if you do want to get a free pick on Bovada and you also want 2 months of the VIP completely free, all you have to do is text me the word Bovada and I'll get you guys into Bovada really, really simply and into my VIP simply. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've kind of been making some longer videos now, trying to explain some more things, especially as we're getting into the NFL and college football season. This is really my main groove here. This is where I know a lot about these players and a lot about the game here. So leave a like on the video if you are enjoying that, and if you learned something, and if you stayed to this point in the video, guys, I truly appreciate you. Thank you again, and I'll see you later tonight for some more picks.